This is question number 5 on QZ6 for module 7 and 8. So this question is about how to read, basically how to read and understand the section on the shareholders' equity. So A, show the computation to yield the $1048. Look at this, the unit here, everything is in thousand. So this is also in thousand, right? Balance reported for common stock. Enter complete number for number of shares with all the zeros. So the number of shares, everything here is in terms of the thousand. So that includes the number of shares. So we need to multiply the number of shares. So this is we need to add 3 zeros because this is in thousand, and then we need to multiply that by the par value. That's basically how the common stock is computed. We just multiply the par value and the number of shares issued. It's not the number of shares authorized, right? So that's basically how this is calculated. And then how many shares are outstanding at January 28th, 2012? So to get the number of shares, we need to see how many shares were issued, and then we need to deduct the number of shares which were repurchased, and that's the number of shares outstanding. Right, so then that means we need to get, so this is in shares, not thousand shares. So we need to this is 104,800, right? 104,800. So 104,800, and then we need to add 30 because that's in thousand, and then we need to subtract the number of shares which were repurchased. So 17641, and then 116. Right, so that's the total number of shares outstanding. Just copy that number back. And C, use the common stock and paid-in capital accounts to determine the average price at which this firm issued its common stock. So to determine the average price, we first have to determine the total capital. Total capital received from issuing the stock. And then we can add, and then we can divide that total capital by the shares, by the total shares, and then that's going to be the total shares issued. That's going to be the average price, right? So, and then to get the total capital, we just need to add these two numbers. Notice here, in order to get the price, we don't have to put this in dollar. Now everything is in thousands of dollars because the shares are also in the thousands of shares. So when we add these two numbers and divide by the shares, because we are calculating per unit, so per unit price, per share price. So even if we use the $1,000 for both the numerator and the denominator, we can get the same answer. So it's going to be the same. So we don't have to convert that into dollars instead of the $1,000 here. So 1048 and plus these numbers 319 and 451, and then price will be this amount, and then divide that by the number of shares, which is 104,800. So, and then keep the number of decimal places according to the requirement, and I believe that's 2, right? Rounded to 2 decimal places, round your answer to 2 decimal places. So this is gonna be 303.06. And finally, part D, use the treasury stock account to determine the average price the firm paid when it repurchased its common shares. So to determine that, we use similarly, we can just divide the total amount of money spent in repurchasing the stock and by the number of shares repurchased. So the repurchase price will be this amount. Just copy that amount and then divide that by the number of shares outstanding. I mean, number of shares repurchased. So then just accept this change because Excel just wants to get rid of this comma here. So I think that's fine. And then just keep the number of decimal places according to the rounding requirement. And then copy the number back. And then we're done.